So starting off with some Shine and Jam, I'm going to put some on the back of my hand and use it to comb all the hair up so that it's nice and sleek. We're doing box parts, so I'm going to create a straight line from the bottom of her ear to the bottom of the other ear. I am trying to make the patterns neat, but I'm not too focused on making it too neat, only because they are locks and it's the lock itself that makes the hair look beautiful. It's not like braids where the pattern has to be perfect, so don't spend too long trying to part the hair. After sectioning that part of the hair, I'm going to split it into half and then split each section again into half so that we have 4 sections. You can make your sections as big or as small as you want them to be. Now I'm just going to braid each section all the way down. You don't actually have to braid all the way down. You can braid till like halfway and twist the rest of the way. As long as you got majority of it is a braid, because that's what's stronger than a twist and it's the braid that's holding the lock in place, then you're okay. Now I'm creating another line from the top of the ear to the top of the other ear. With each section, I use the Shine and Jam to smooth it down and keep it sleek. However, I don't like to use too much Shine and Jam because, one, if you use too much on your client and then you braid the hair, this is what will make it even tighter than it needs to be. And also, you don't want too much build up on the locks. Locks are meant to look natural, not perfect. Real is better than perfect, so you don't need to use too much Shine and Jam. I create the smaller sections based on the midway point of the box underneath, and this is what creates the bricklayer effect. Before I actually started doing these partings, I had already put in the middle part. And so now on this side of her face, I am creating a line between the bottom of her eyebrow and the arch of her eyebrow. After doing the sections at the front, I then part the hair around the head following the partings that I just made at the front. So here you can see that I've just gone around the head like I did with the other sections. So that's the braiding done, and now we're going to go on to creating our locks. You'll first need a latch hook, some lock extensions, these are the new locks, pair of scissors, and spring twist hair. You need spring twist hair and not water wave hair, because water wave hair will make your hair locks a lot more silky, and here we're going for the more natural look. So you're going to want to fluff it out. The fluffier the better. This is still the same spring twist hair that I showed you before. You want to fluff it out, and this is what creates the more natural looking locks. So to fluff out the spring twist hair, just pull it from the bunch it came from. You don't need to cut anything. You can just simply pull it out. And then I just use my thumb and my finger to just go through it, and as I go through it, it fluffs out. It's like I'm separating the hair just by running my fingers through it. Remember, the fluffier, the better. So first I'm going to show you how I do distress locks. I first put the latch hook through the base of the braid, and I'll attach it to the lock extension and pull through and attach it to my braid. I then grab some spring twist hair and pull that through with my latch hook again through the base of the braid. You only need to pull it through a little bit. So as I'm right-handed, I need to wrap with my right hand. So I hold the little bit of spring twist hair, the braid and the lock extension all together in my left hand. And then I'll be using my right hand to wrap the larger section of spring twist hair around the lock. As you wrap with your wrapping hand, you want to make sure you're holding the lock extension quite sturdy, quite taut. Now here's the trick to get the little accents on the lock to form. As you're wrapping with your wrapping hand, the hand that's holding the lock extension, use your thumb and your index finger to just grab onto a piece of hair as you wrap and just hold on to it all the way until you wrap all the way around. Like let it come out of your hand naturally, and that's how the little accents will form. After I do this lock, I'm going to show you again with a closer view. As I'm right-handed, I will hold the lock extensions with my left hand and hold the spring twist hair with my right hand. And as I wrap, the thumb and index finger on my left hand, the hand that's holding the lock extensions, they're grabbing onto a piece of hair as I wrap. So it just creates like a wispy, messy type of look. That's when the little accents form. And you can either wrap all the way down to the end of your lock, if that's the length you want it, or you can cut it and then wrap back up, or you can bend it and wrap back up. Here I'm going to bend it and wrap back up. But the key to securing the lock at the end is to wrap back up to the very last strand. And it's very important that you keep wrapping to the very last strand. And when I say the last strand, I mean the last strand of the spring twist hair. So as you can see, I'm wrapping up, and obviously as I'm wrapping up, you get less spring twist hair. So you want to keep going until it's like all the way gone. The very, very last strand. You have to make sure you're wrapping that pretty tightly because that's what will secure the end of your lock. Now I'm going to show you how I do butterfly locks. It's still a very similar method, but instead of just holding on to it with your thumb and index finger, you're letting your thumb go through the hair and create that loop of hair. So here I'm going to go through it with my thumb and then wrap above, wrap below twice, and then again with my thumb, wrap above, and then wrap below twice to secure it. And as you can see, the butterflies are forming. It's the loose hairs, much more obvious than when it's distress locks. And lastly, here I'll show you how I do flat soft locks. So initially with the distress locks, we first went through the base of our braid with our lock extension. But this time with flat soft locks, we go first through with our spring twist hair. And then instead of attaching the lock extension to the base of the braid, we're going to attach it to the spring twist hair and the braid a little bit down, further away from the roots of your hair. This isn't the best angle, but I'm going to do it again and you're going to see a lot more clearly. So I'm pulling the spring twist hair through the loop of the lock extension. And now there's two ways you can continue from here. So you can split the spring twist hair in a half or just a little bit out, so that the little bit of hair that you're pulling, you're now going to pull that through the base of your braid so that the hair is now secure. And using that smaller section of spring twist hair, you now want to start wrapping. And why you'd want to do it this way, using a smaller section, is because this will create a much more flatter root. And then as you get closer to the bigger section of spring twist hair, you want to join them together and just start wrapping them as a whole. So again, this is flat soft locks. Here I'm starting with the spring twist hair and I'm pulling that through the base of my braid. And then I'm going to grab my lock extension and pull through the braid and the spring twist hair through the loop of the lock extension. And instead of splitting the spring twist hair, I'm just going to pull through the whole hair through the base of the braid again to secure it. Doing it the other way makes the root even flatter, but this way still creates flat roots. So now I'm just going to let you watch what I do, and at the end there's going to be a styling segment to give you different ways you can rock your new locks.